Good morning. Thank you for joining Dan and I as we kick off our Summer School Success Series. Throughout this series, you'll gain insight on how to build better relationships, generate more revenue, and attract new customers. You can check out the complete series by logging on to EHTC.com. This is where you can register for our next lesson coming up. You can also participate. For each time you participate in a lesson, your name will be entered in a drawing to win an Apple iPad, which we'll be giving away in September. To increase your chances of winning, you'll notice on the top of that page, there's a place to submit blogs. We're looking for topics we're looking for challenges your organization faces with marketing, sales, and customer service. So each time you submit a blog, your name will be entered into that prize drawing. Throughout this series, feel free to contact Dan and I and give us your feedback or ask questions. Now I'd like to introduce Dan. Dan is the Business Development Consultant at EHTC. He is also a Dynamic Relations Manager with over 16 years of experience in technology and business solutions. Dan specializes in helping businesses exceed their sales and marketing goals, aligning them with the right technology solutions. So Dan, I'm going to turn it over to you, and thank you for joining us today.
Great. Thank you very much, Kristen, and thank you everyone for joining our first webinar in the summer series session. I'm going to start off just with a brief disclaimer. Obviously, there are a lot of technologies out in the marketplace for businesses and organizations to use. And today we're going to focus on 5 critical ones that are needed in sales, marketing, and customer service today. But obviously, we're not condoning that we abandon current methods of success and how you relate with customers. But we would recommend that you pay close attention to some of these technologies and see how you might incorporate them into your own business. And we deal with companies all the time. We consult with various companies on finance and technology, and when we enter a business or an organization, there's always 2 distinct sides. We have typically the operations side of the business, the production side, and distribution, and then there's what some people refer to as the soft side, or the sales, marketing, customer service side. And when we look at technology and how it's impacted organizations, for the better part of the last 2 centuries, business has really focused on the left side, improving operations, improving production, improving distribution. They've implemented very strategic software solutions under the generic name of MRP or ERP, which are essentially material resource planning or enterprise resource planning solutions, and they help organizations become more efficient on the production and distribution side. And for the most part, most companies have figured this out and are doing a really good job at this. This is why we can manufacture an automobile in a month with supplies from around the world. Okay, so but when we look at business today, and we look at over the last decade or 2, starting back in the 90s and over the last 10 years, we've seen a shift in focus to turn towards relationships and managing the relationship side of the business, looking at sales, marketing, and customer service. So those are the tools that we're going to be talking about today, are those that are focused on the relationship side and how your organization can better manage relationships on that side of the business. And some of us might find today's technologies a tad impersonal, but building relationships today and in the very near future is changing quite dramatically. If we look at technology and the adoption of technology over the years, if we look at radio, it took 38 years for radio to reach 50 million users. Television took 13 to reach that 50 million user mark. The internet only 4. And recently, Facebook had 100 million users in less than 9 months. But when we look at the adoption of technology, we know that it's going fast. I mean, consumers are embracing things like the iPod, iPads, smartphones, YouTube. And one thing is pretty clear, that new generations of consumers are embracing change and new technology. I find it interesting to just look back 5 years ago and see some of the technologies and some of the things that I used to use that I currently don't. You know, the list is right here in front of you, but it's all around us. I mean, things like grocery shopping. I remember 3 years ago going to Meijer's and walking up to check out, and the person at the register telling me I have to pack my own groceries. That was about 3 years ago. I was startled. Okay, so what am I doing today? Today I'm not only packing my own groceries, but I'm checking myself out, and I don't even talk to a person. So, you know, these technologies come into our life, and they happen, and they seem to just take hold, and we just kind of transition on. And that's happening today distinctly in business. And so that's why we're looking today at 5 technologies that any organization really needs to look at and pay attention to. And the first one of those technologies is an engaging website. I say engaging because a website has been around a long time, but a truly engaging website is what's getting the work done today. A truly engaging website today is where content is king. The value that you provide on your website is critical. Specifically, if we look at this sales process in an organization, you know, sales has undergone significant change since the days of Mad Men in the early 60s. You know, selling, the one key component to selling that really hasn't changed is that we still have to have relationships. It still is about managing and building relationships. But almost everything else in the sales process has changed. And it's changed even since I've been selling, which has been approximately 20 years or so. Well, I started my selling career out in the 90s, and you know, at this time, this is how the sales process pretty much went. I spent a significant amount of time on the telephone, prospecting, calling people, cold calling them, interrupting them at their desk, trying to get that very first introductory meeting. And, you know, brand played a role in that, marketing, all those things helped me to get credibility on the phone and eventually get that initial meeting. But once the initial meeting happened, that was a time to really get to understand the customer. And there was a lot of time spent in that meeting understanding their business, and they were understanding my business. So there was a lot of exchange and a lot of time invested there. And there was also a demonstration of value at that point too, proving to them that my company can do what we say we do and how we do it and what differentiates us. Then ultimately, hopefully, we went into a proposal stage where we actually put a proposal out in front of them to address their needs, we negotiate, and hopefully it became a customer of ours. So that was how selling was done in the 90s. Now today, selling is quite different. And when I say the website is a critical piece of today's business, this is exactly what I'm talking about, especially in the selling area. The website has primarily taken the place of a lot of these first 3 steps in the selling process. The website is where people are finding out about our company. So it's a process we call web discovery. In today's world, a customer primarily does all of their investigation prior to even talking to anyone in the company they want to work with. So as a salesperson, when I'm called in to actually meet with a customer, they have already spent hours on the web looking at our company, looking at what we provide, looking for referral sources. They have spent hours looking at the competition. They have spent all this time up front understanding our industry, what we do, what differentiates us, and the primary area they are getting this information from is our website. They are also coming to the table with referrals. On services such as LinkedIn or Facebook, they are finding referrals before they even talk to someone at my company. So what happens in the selling process is the web has taken over a lot of that selling process. It doesn't diminish the role of sales because there still has to be that relationship and that connection. But what I'm saying is that a lot of those things that used to be done in the sales process are no longer done. They're done on the web. They're done prior to us actually engaging with a customer. This trend in the shift really can be referred to as inbound marketing. Marketers like to talk about inbound marketing, and really, this is kind of what it's about. We need to create valuable content and provide that to people so they can find it easily and understand what kind of business we are. And once they find us, we want to hopefully convert them to a prospect or a qualified opportunity, and that is how we connect with customers today. So the whole concept around inbound marketing, the website is the critical piece. We're creating content that goes on that website. We're making sure that our website is optimized so it can be found on the internet, and then we're providing refreshing, new, constantly changing content to keep people coming back. We're promoting that content in the hopes that people will come to our website and try to engage us into business. And then it's also important to understand the metrics on our website and what that looks like. So there's some good examples of companies that are really doing this right, and I want to point one out right off the bat. Here in West Michigan, a company called Wolverine Worldwide, and Wolverine does an exceptional job of content. I'm going to pull up their website here in just one second. So Wolverine manufactures all kinds of shoes, and one of their shoe brands is Patagonia. And if you go to the website of Patagonia, you notice a couple things. People that buy Patagonia shoes are very environmentally conscious. They spend time, as in this picture, rock climbing. They spend time out in the wilderness. They spend time doing fun things with our environment. So the content on this is insatiable for someone who might want to, understand Patagonia and what they do for the environment, and how they are a responsible manufacturer and respect our environment. So, I just clicked on one link in here. This is the footprint of their supply chain. Now talk about this is more content than many people really want or need. But as you can see, this very rich content, I can look at this map and I can see production facilities of where my shoes are made. I can see what country it's in, what the native language is here, what they produce at this facility. I actually see a picture of the plant. I see the makeup of the people that work here. And I can go in, dig in, drill deeper to find out more specifically, how this business model supports a clean, friendly environment. So that's one example. Another example, obviously Disney has been at the forefront of creating customer experiences for a long time. Well, this is just a slice of their website that shows you how, allows you to interact and engage with Disney and share your experiences through pictures and video. Another company here in West Michigan is Founders Brewery, and I know, because I'm connected with Founders Brewery on the internet, that they just unveiled this website just this week. This is a brand new website, and as you can see, what their primary information that they're sharing here are the releases of their new beers, which is a primary reason that people go to this website, is to see that this new beer is going to be released on July 2nd. One thing you'll also notice on this website is they use video. It's prominently displayed here, and video tells a great story. Video is very important, and just another content-rich method that we need to use to make our websites successful. So back to the presentation here. Those are 3 companies here that are doing it right. The other important thing about the website is we need to pay attention to the metrics behind the website. So if you agree that a lot of the initial stages of the sales process are being taken over by the website, cold calling is replaced with visitors on the website, it's going to be important that you measure and monitor the results of your website, that you know who is visiting your site, how long they're there, you see the trends, you can see when people want to engage with you. And so it's very important for a website to have a tool. Now we use a tool called HubSpot. It's simply a hosting provider, but it's a tool set that allows us to manage our website. It allows us to easily create content, easily post blogs, and then most importantly, allows us to see who's visiting our site and all the metrics behind the scenes. So in summary on the website, I just want to say that these are the critical attributes of today's successful website. Keep in mind, content is king. It must be refreshed often. There needs to be a lot of new activity on the site. Blogging is a great way to do it. Understand your traffic and the analytics of your website. It needs to be search engine optimized, so your website needs to be findable on the internet, and so there are many organizations and companies that can help with that. And another thing to consider is that today's consumer, especially the younger generations, they aren't sitting at laptops and they aren't sitting at PCs and offices. They are mobile, and they're visiting websites on their mobile device. So it's very important to have your website in tune with mobility. The second technology and tool I want to discuss is online communities. And online communities are really today's Rotary clubs, if you will. Online communities for generations X, Y, and younger are where people are interacting. And it's a good idea to understand, how your company is utilizing online communities. I would challenge any organization, and it really is already happening. If you look at Facebook and LinkedIn, those are online communities. LinkedIn is an online community of professionals, and you have professionals that are engaging in knowledge sharing and connecting in those communities. They're happening with, well, we're a member of the American Marketing Association. We find all kinds of valuable content and information about latest trends in marketing in this portal. So we go to this web portal, this online community, and this is where the ideas are shared. It's also happening in purchasing, and we do business with the city of Grand Rapids, but we couldn't do business with the city of Grand Rapids if we weren't part of their web procurement system. So this is just a snapshot of the system that we interact with the city. It allows the city to put forth their requirements and what their needs are, and it allows any supplier to the city to post and understand what the current needs are. So when we look at online communities, I would stress that an organization really needs to map them out and assign and understand who in their organization is interacting with them. We're a pretty small firm. We're about 30 people. But each of the people in our organization is a member of many different online communities. And so as a business owner, as a business manager, it's important to understand that, the employee that we have today is much more connected and has a much bigger voice. And they might be representing just themselves out there on the internet, but ultimately, they are also representing our company. So it's not a control thing, but what it is we need to understand, where potentially our brand is in the marketplace, and specifically within online communities. These are some of the communities that EHTC is part of. This is only a snapshot. This is a small bit, but what I wanted to point out here is that in addition to industry associations that we're part of, we're also a part of Kids.com in Grand Rapids. We have parents that are interacting on Kids.com, and we have alumni that went to Aquinas College, and there's all kinds of different communities out there, not to mention Facebook, not to mention LinkedIn, that our employees are interacting with. So it's good to take a look at these communities and understand how we can build our brand within them as well. The third technology I want to discuss today is nurturing campaigns. And we will explore nurturing tools and campaign tools in more depth later on in the summer series. But today, just generally speaking, I want to point out that nurturing campaigns are very critical, and they are changing. And if we look back some of the nurturing tools that we're very familiar with are obviously advertisements, promotions, various loyalty programs, referral programs, a lot of print media, a lot of print nurturing tools. So these are ones that are still being used and were predominant in the past. But today, nurturing tools are changing, and email marketing is probably one of the most popular now. But I will say that email marketing is probably close to reaching its height, and it's giving way to newer ways to nurture relationships. That would include things like blogging. It would include text messaging. Many customers, many people we engage with would prefer to receive a text message versus an email. There's the ability to nurture relationships using Twitter and LinkedIn and to share knowledge. Most nurturing campaigns are about sharing knowledge. Your customers come to you because of your specific knowledge, because of what your expertise is, and you owe it to them to do everything you can to share as much of that knowledge as you can. Here's a company here in West Michigan, Brands. They're a restaurant franchise, and they do a great job of nurture marketing. I receive a text from them almost every Thursday afternoon in the summer, inviting me to go down to the local restaurant and watch my favorite team, the Detroit Tigers. Now, obviously, I don't go every Thursday, but I have to admit it's quite tempting. But every Thursday, I receive a text right about 10 o'clock in the morning, alerting me to this great special, and they usually have a food special. But I point them out because they do a great job of not only email nurturing, but also text nurturing. So email nurturing, I'll just share with you how our firm uses email nurturing. We have a customer base of existing clients and customers. We have a prospect base of companies and customers that we would like to do business with. So we make it a point to communicate with them on a regular basis and share some knowledge with them over email. So how we integrate that email within our overall strategy, I want to share. Essentially, with our website, we create that topic or that content, and we put it on a blog. Then what we do is we send a tweet out to our Twitter followers and also a LinkedIn message to all those that are following us on LinkedIn, alerting them to the topic and providing a convenient link that they can go back to. Then we also send an email out to the people that have registered with us to send email alerts to, and that goes out to thousands of people that we interact with, and that's all tied back to the website. So then we're able to monitor that email traffic. So this screen here shows how, just one of the screenshots of an email that we sent out and who actually opened it and who actually clicked on the link. So this shows that everyone and all of these people that we sent the email to actually opened that email and clicked it. It tells us what specific page they went to. It was part of a specific campaign that we have here, and it tells us the exact time and date that they actually clicked on the link. So when we look at email campaigns, it's the data behind and how we track and record that that's very important. So this is probably not a surprise, but one of the new technologies that one of the 5 technologies that we want you to look at and investigate is social media. There's a lot of buzz around social media. This is just a small sampling of some of the social media tools that are out there. I have to admit, I have never even been on Pinterest, but I know it's catching fire. Instagram is a way to share photos. YouTube is becoming, very popular. Obviously, Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn. And again, there are more, and it's not the end. So it is exploding, and I certainly wouldn't recommend that anyone put all their eggs in one of these social media baskets. But it's important to weave these kind of technologies within your organization. So we like to say, let's work towards social media engagement. Let's see what customers of ours are using social media, and let's try to start some dialogue, or let's try to get them engaged and have some engagement between our customers using these different means of communication. Some of it might be intimidating, and undoubtedly there's people in your organization that will never use social media, and they're very resistant against it. But I will say that we have a couple generations already out there today that social media is going to be their primary mode of communication. It's not going to be the telephone. It's not even going to be a cell phone. My children's generation is texting and communicating video and pictures. That's how they communicate. So it's important to get on board. And I would say that some practical advice and to help you embrace some of these new technologies. When you find a technology you want to explore, get a mentor and sit down with them. I did this with Twitter. I found someone who I was networked with that was using Twitter, and she gave me a tour of it, showed me how best to use it. So finding a mentor is a good way to get started. You do need a smartphone. Hey, a cell phone is not going to do it anymore. If you want to use social media, you have to have a smartphone, like an iPod or an Android or a BlackBerry, something that you can interact with data and not just voice and text. So a smartphone is a requirement. And if you look at your customer base, I would dare say that for most businesses and organizations, that at least half of their customers have smartphones. So it's important to get on the bandwagon there. Sharing photos is a great way to get engaged with social media, as well as just interacting with your kids. Your kids know a lot about social media, and they're already using it. So there's a lot to be learned from them. So this is Twitter. Now, I just bring this up as an example. I mean, for me, Twitter, when I first signed up about a year and a half ago, I looked at it, and I was like, I don't see what the buzz is about this. It looks pretty simple. It looks pretty basic, and I really didn't know how to use it. So that's where, again, I got in touch with someone who was using it, and one of the very first things she told me to do was to download a software called TweetDeck. And this is a picture of TweetDeck. Essentially what it allows you to do is to build columns. These columns, you see me up here at the front, but these columns are about topics that I want to follow. If I want to follow a marketing group, then anyone who tweets about marketing I might have in this group. So any tweets that are related to that will flow in this column. I can also put a topic that I want to follow. Let's say I want to follow trends in furniture manufacturing. I could have anything related to furniture manufacturing here, and I can start to follow this. So what happens is that basically you start to build columns down here in the bottom. These are all the columns that I have on different topics. Now I also have I follow my competition. So any competitor that we have, I follow tweets about that competitor. My key customers, I follow them. I follow trends in different technologies, and I follow trends in news, politics, sports. You know, the list goes on and on. But once you start to work with Twitter and you use a service like TweetDeck, which is free, by the way, Twitter and the service TweetDeck, you can start to see where social media can become of value. And when we start out with social media, you know, I would encourage you to listen first. I did not start sending tweets out immediately when I got my first Twitter account. But I did listen, and I did see what people were doing, and then I slowly started to engage, and then I slowly started to integrate that within my business activities. So this is an approach you can use to start using social media, and with any of those technologies, this might be the way to go. Okay, now this brings us to our fifth and final technology to watch and trend to watch, and that is customer relationship management, or CRM. And you know, EHTC is a CRM partner. We work with organizations to implement CRM. But CRM is one of those critical technologies. And I want to go back to this slide we talked about earlier. And with production and distribution, the software solutions that helped us be more productive and handle distribution better, those solutions are called ERP. On the relationship side, sales, marketing, customer service, the software solution for that is CRM. And again, with CRM, what we have is basically a tool set that helps us to manage sales, marketing, and customer service. Now, I want to stop here and say, you know, successful businesses today understand production, they understand operations, are very efficient, or they wouldn't even be around today. So successful businesses of today understand that left side of the production side of the business. The successful businesses of tomorrow are going to understand this better, and they're going to do this better. They're going to understand sales, they're going to understand marketing, they're going to understand marketing ROI, they're going to understand the value of opportunities that are coming into their business, and they're going to have better relationships with their customers and interact with their customers better. That is the future. So a CRM record, okay, if we look at what's contained in a CRM record, well, almost anything that relates to your customer and your interaction with that customer. So when we look at a record in CRM for a particular account or contact, you know, it's going to have purchase history information. It's going to be a springboard for communications, allowing you to communicate via text, email, phone, social media. It's going to be basically a collection of all the communications with that customer. It's going to have alerts and flags to show you trends, so you understand buying behaviors, buying patterns, that kind of thing. It's going to be consistent. All the information is in one area. It's going to have visibility for your customers into any engagement that customer has with your business, so service history, sales history, and it's going to tie in with marketing information, so you know how, one, you can communicate marketing messages to your customers, but also you can engage with them in that communication, and you can understand what is attractive to your customers. So the CRM record, and this is just, you know, the beginning, is going to hold a lot of information. And many of you have systems in place where you have a customer record, and that's fine. And you know, traditionally it's the financial information, which has the customer name, their contacts, the billing information, and a history of the purchases that have been made, along with invoices and things like that. But CRM provides much more than that. And this is where CRM differentiates itself. In addition to having that insight into that information, CRM provides communication tools that allow you to email, use social media, use text campaigns. It allows you to manage customer service around those customers. Case management is provided in CRM. It allows you insight into the opportunities and what the needs are of your customers and how you might be able to help those needs. And the marketing side, it helps you with campaign management, list management, and social media management. So these are some of the things in addition to just that basic customer information that might exist in your financial solution that CRM can provide. And this is really just the tip of the iceberg. So in summary, we have talked today about 5 critical tools for business. They're an engaging website, online communities, nurturing campaigns, social engagement and tools, and customer relationship management. I want to just take a moment to thank you very much for joining today, and I would encourage you to continue to visit our website and to continue to look for more information that we are going to be providing throughout the next 2 to 3 months that really is all about sharing best practices and managing customer relations. Here's my contact information. Our website, my email address, my Twitter feed that you're welcome to follow. Please feel free to reach out if there's anything I can help with, if you have any questions. And stay tuned for our next opportunity to learn, and that will be an interactive blog session, which you'll be receiving some messages on in the future. So for Dan and Kristen here and the whole team at EHTC, I want to say thank you very much, and we look forward to talking with you in the future. Have a great day.